Like, don't be out here violating people's boundaries, and don't be out here continuing to be violated, letting your boundaries be violated. Look, enough is enough.
To some, boundaries are just placing limits. To me, it's where the limitless things begin.
Hello, 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 and thank you for tuning into the Boundaries and More podcast with Jess Abraham. I am your host, Jess Abraham, and today's episode is brought to you by Joyful Styles. Joyful Styles is a lifestyle brand that provides premium quality apparel that promotes joy and positivity. Joyful Styles believes how we approach a situation matters, and choosing to be joyful makes all the difference. You have the power, and it's time to embrace it. So get your Joyful Styles apparel at joyfulstyles.com. That's JoyfulStylez.com. Let's go. Let's go. I am super excited about this message today because it's something that I've been thinking about. I wanted to bring into the podcast at what I felt was the right time. And today I just want to touch a little bit on different types of boundaries, right? So different types of boundaries. It's not all of them, but there's a few of them, and we're going to go into these. Maybe even have a part two at another time. But yes, yes. So first, I would love to start with little caveat here. One of them is going to be part of two. You see what I mean. So first is the time and energy boundaries, right? Your time and energy boundaries. Jess, what are you talking about? What do you mean, my time and energy? I know about that. Nah, let's be clear. The time and energy boundaries, that time boundaries is about understanding your priorities and limiting your time with others, right? So sometimes you may not be able to do all the things that you and other people want you to do. It just be like that sometimes. You will have to prioritize. It comes a situation with work, homes, socially, all of that, right? So, for example, just that might sound like, you know what? Yeah, I won't be coming to the event this weekend. Something like that. Like, and I'll give you an example of what happened recently, right? So, some of you may know, or may not know, my wife and I, we've been traveling a lot recently, a lot. Some is cool, some not so much. Like, because I get tired. I be wanting to sleep in my own bed. But anyway, I digress on that. This is about this. So, for example, so we recently we had just landed back home the day of, right, and I saw a text message on my phone once, got off the planes, checked my phone, all of that stuff, and it was an invite for us to come to a dinner that night. It was a birthday dinner, and I was like, nah, we just landed, and we're gonna just chill tonight. We're gonna rest, recuperate, and recharge tonight. Like, personally, I didn't feel the need to ask my wife or verify if she indeed didn't want to go to the dinner that night, because we had discussed during our trip up, we're excited to get home to relax. So once we landed and I saw that invite, like, nah, it's time to relax. And that's what we will do. That's what we came home and we did. Like, yeah, it's just amazing to relax sometimes. I tell people sometimes those are the best times, because it just, I don't know, it feels amazing, especially for us, like after traveling so much, some of those uncomfortable beds. Yeah, anyway, again, I digress. I'm just thinking about it because at the time of this recording, we have another trip coming up. And yeah, it's, we'll be on the road again. We're on the plane again. And yeah. Anyway, so that's what that can look like, right? Prioritizing. I definitely prioritized our rest. And some of you, I encourage you to stop just accepting all the invitations and being at all the things because you feel you need to. You don't need to. You may want to, and some of these things you may not want to, but you still do it because you feel you may owe someone, or you're really close with someone, or cool with someone. Like, think about you, your family, your needs. Like, they will be okay. They're going to still have an amazing time. If they feel some type of way about it, maybe they're not really true friends. You know what I mean? Like, just look, the right people will get it. The right people will respect it. The right people will accept it. And even if they don't accept it, they'll get it. They'll still love you. I promise. The right people, remember that. Everyone's not that mature. So, yeah. Just wanted to put that out there. Now, on the flip side of things, right? Violations of these time boundaries, what they may look like, right? Some violations is some people wanting a handout and just wanting everything for free from professionals like myself, right? They want me to coach and consult them for free all the time. I'm okay with helping people. Like, I love helping people, just what I naturally do. And for a long time, I did not charge people because it's just what I naturally like to do. But I mentioned in the previous episode, like, look, I'm not trying to be like, oh, dude, and not using my talents because so God take it away from me. It's not happening. So make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do with my talents and gifts that God's given me. We gonna charge. So if you want a coaching session, you want to be in my coaching program, you want a consultation, you want all these different advice and how to do, look, pay me for my time. I got you. I got you. And sometimes it'll be something quick and we could just, oh, it might be a little freebie that here and there, but respect it and pay for my time, right? Some of you want all these legal advice from legal professionals without paying for their time. Like, it's just different. Like, stop trying to get over on people and pay people for their time. Like this, come on, man. It's time to stop violating people's time boundaries, okay? Also, something that maybe look like is you're always demanding other people's time. Like, oh man, recently it was funny to me because I know when I heard it, I was like, ain't no way that this is not gonna happen. Okay. We but recently, um my wife had a birthday, so it was my wife's birthday the beginning of July. And what did we do? My wife wanted to spend her birthday out in with my mom, like out in Virginia with my mom. And we did that, right? We had a great time that week. We did a couple things with my, we had a good time. And but like the day we got there, right? I'm pretty sure it was I don't even think we were there a day yet, but the day we got there, my mom was excited, of course, to see us. And we all went to the store together. And we got in the parking lot. My mom was like, yeah, so y'all got to start coming and visit at least 4 times a year. And I looked at her and just laughed, like, no, that's not going to happen. Cause it's like, first of all, I mean, I love traveling to a certain extent. And on top of that, like, personally, I like to do what I want to do and what I like to do with my time. And quite frankly, it don't require, or part of my equation isn't going to Virginia 4 times a year to kick it with my moms. Like, that, it's just for me, right? Some of you are different. You love hanging out with your parents all the time, all the things, whatever. Me personally, there is not a whole lot of things in me like, yeah, I need to go spend all of this time and invest all of this time with my mom. Yeah, that's what FaceTime is for, right? Partially, right? We stay connected. We talk frequently. Like, we FaceTime a lot, and we're gonna keep doing that. I'm like, I can give you once a year. We can work that out. She tried to do low negotiation and things of that sort, and then like she know I'm very different than my wife. She kind of like, well, she turns to my wife and like, well, y'all can do this one this time. I'm like, babe, you look, you know, we not gonna do. All right, our time, like your time, is valuable, and people, you must not allow people to be demanding of your time. Again, it's different for people who paid me for my time. I have time for you. I created, like, you paid for this time, and I'm gonna put all of that time we have together. Like, I'm gonna put all my energy into that time we have together and make this thing happen. But if you're not paying people for the time, and if you're not doing it, like, let me go back a little bit. My mom wasn't saying like, yeah, I'm gonna fly y'all out 4 times a year. No, she's like, y'all fly here on y'all dime, on y'all time, all these things to come here 4 times a year. Again, not happening. I just have other things again that I would rather do with my time than fly in there 4 times a year. That's just frankly how it is. And I let her know. And I'm pretty sure she got it. The picture. We see her when we see her. Like she knows it's all love. I promise you. It's all love, no love lost. It's just not happening. I digress there. Another violation of people, like, of time, boundaries, just thinking about what you may be doing to others and what others may be doing to you, is showing up late or canceling because of overcommitments, right? Like, we must stop letting people just overload our plate, and then when the time comes, dropping the ball. Like, no, that stops right now. And we must stop letting people do it to us too, right? Associate with better people to make this thing happen. You must, yeah. What we not gonna do is waste people's time. Don't let people waste yours. Don't be out here wasting other people's time. We not gonna do that. Nah, nah, nah. We getting into it this episode. Look, again, I don't want it to be too long. Again, I'm just touching on these things. We'll revisit it and go deeper into more of these types of boundaries at a later time. But the next one, number 2, is emotional and energy boundaries, right? Right. That's the part I was talking about. That energy part, it can go for your time and go for your emotions. So the emotional piece with that energy. Let me tell you. So what this one is about is respecting and honoring the feelings and energy of others and yourself. Like, because we must not forget about ourselves. Like, you might hear like, oh yeah, people feelings are valid, etc. Yours are too, right? So making sure that not only you're doing this for others, but others are doing it for you, is recognizing on top of that how much emotional energy you have to put in, you're capable of taking in and taking on, right? An example of that was when, like, back when, right? I was, as I was thinking about this example, I believe it was, no, I think it was maybe when I was still in the military or before the military. Either way, back when, right? There was a time I thought about getting my doctorate and becoming a therapist, having my own private practice, right? Paging, Dr. Abraham type stuff. But no, but seriously, like, I thought, like, before, because I knew I wanted to help people in certain capacities, things of that sort, help them get through things and whatnot. But when I started like revamping things in my life, in my career, like, I really started to believe like that was not what I wanted to do truly, because I didn't want all of that extra emotional stuff from other people to be coming with me. And I know how much I care, and then I might take it home and all of that stuff. Like, no, that just wasn't for me. So the route I took, I'm still in that capacity ish, right? Still in the psychology field, right? Masters in psychology, my lane. Um, my thing was, nope, I'm not going to do the therapy part, but I am going to do the coaching part. We can talk about things you want to do and how you move forward in your life, right? You may need therapy in conjunction with coaching, right? And for some clients, I would advise that. Um, but for me, it was strictly on the coaching side. I did not want to do the therapy thing because I just know for me, I have to protect my emotional boundaries. Like that's super, super, super important. Another example is when I was in the military, I was in honor guard. And initially, I did not want to go to honor guard. I told my leadership team when they put me up for it, like, "Hey, you're going to be going to honor." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like I decline this opportunity because it's just not what I wanted to do. Initially, I thought it would take a really, like a, not a great, it would take a toll on me. It would bring up emotions and feelings that I didn't want to have because this is in some people's life, like their worst time in their lives, losing a loved one and things of that sort, and you being there. I will say that, however, whatever happened and whatever shift in my mind, I decided to accept that honor, that responsibility of being an honor guard. And I did it. And truthfully, when I did this when I did do honor guard, it was more of a sense of pride when there I was, folding and talking to the family with the flag and kneeling down and saying what I was saying to them, like showing respect and all of that stuff, like presenting the flag to someone's loved one. Like it was truly an honor. And it was, yeah, it just gave me a different feeling. Still to this day, when I see certain things like that, it takes me back. And I'm like, man, I remember honoring people's families like that. It's a big deal, and carrying people. Like, oh man, it's just a whole situation right there. Like, again, initially I thought it would take an emotional toll on me, but it was truly an honor and something I enjoyed learning and doing. And it was one of those good military memories right there. Yeah. So, but on a another note, just to jump again, my mind is thinking about that and me literally at the places doing these things. But just just to regroup, come back here. All right, here I am, let's go. It's also when it comes to your emotional boundaries, is knowing when to share and what to share certain things and emotions, right? It's maybe at work, at the water cooler, that's that I guess that's that situation, that analogy is not necessarily the best time to share certain things about your personal life. Maybe it's not, right? Or just emotionally dumping on people without their permission. Like someone might say, hello, yeah. Like someone might say, oh yeah, how are you today? Oh, well, today is just not so good. Like all of that. Look, you don't even know if these people have the capacity to take on your emotional stuff. So we must not be dumping our stuff on people without their permission. This is what therapists are for, right? And certain things of your like, struggling and things you're looking to do and putting these boundaries in place, like emotionally, and it's taking a toll on you. Look, that's what I'm here for as your coach, right? As a and consultant in certain areas as well on boundaries and things of that sort. Like you pay people for those things. You're paying people for that type of emotional boundary stuff. Like put these things in place with professionals. Again, stop trying to get over on these professionals with their time. And when it comes time to pay, you trying to back out and just dumping it on random people. Stop doing that. Stop it, stop it, stop it. All right. So look, again, I kind of like jumped ahead in a bit, but violations would look like you doing that, really emotionally dumping on people. What else is it? Like, oh, dismissing or criticizing other people's feelings. Like, who are you? You don't know what people are really feeling. We don't know what people are really feeling, right? Who are we to say, no, you don't feel like that? Don't be mad. Don't be angry. Don't be all that. Like, who are we? It's not on us to do that, right? We like people's feelings are valid, whether you agree or not. You don't have to agree with what people are feeling, and what, like, you don't have to. Let them be and let them feel all the things they're feeling and be in that. And also, we must not be forcing people to fully express what they're feeling or what they're going through or whatever when they really are not ready and mentally in the space to open up about certain things. Stop pressuring people, right? And also, if you're someone who allows people to pressure you into doing these things, stop it. Stop letting people pressure you into these things. Like, yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna keep going because look, I don't want this to be long. Again, I just want to touch on these different things, get your mind thinking and like evaluate, right? That's gonna be the practical tip for the evaluate all these areas in your life currently. Are you someone who's violating some boundaries? Right? Are your boundaries being violated? Right? I got another one for you before we get out of here. But number 3, right, is physical boundaries, right? For some of you, this one is easy. I get it. Like, all right, it's people, it's that personal space. It's all like, yep, it is. But making sure, again, you're not somebody on the other end of, you're not on the violations part of it, right? People should be able to just write you tickets when you're violating their personal boundaries, with the physical boundaries. So it's like, again, that personal space, that comfort level of touch, and when you need to rest and people try not to let you rest, all these different things, right? An example is like, or when you just don't want to be like touched sometimes, like, what, just back away, I need a minute, whatever, like, just, hey, give me a few, okay? For example, sometimes I'm telling you, man, for there's times when my wife, she might have done something that I just was not feeling. I don't like. She might have said something or did some type of action that just wasn't comfortable with me, or I just did not like. And then, she might turn around because she did certain actions, just want to be all cuddly like 2 seconds later. Like, nah, babe, I'm gonna need you to back away for a little bit. Give me a little time. 2 seconds ain't gonna do it today. I might need 2 minutes, okay? I might need 5. But give me a little breather. Woo, just take a step back for me, baby. Go ahead on to, slide on over on the sofa just a little bit for me, baby. Okay? Like, sometimes it be like that, right? That's my personal space, my physical boundaries. Look, I don't want it to be crossed right now. I just don't, right? That happens. Also, personally, naturally, I am a hugger. When I'm meeting people, greeting people, or saying, "I'll see you later" type stuff, I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. I am a hugger. But I know the importance of physical boundaries, right? So what happens is that I ask people permission before hugging them. Or I make sure that I give permission before people hug me. Like, it's so important. For all you huggers out there, if you're not asking permission, you just going in for the hug, stop it right now. Again, we're going to talk about these violations. That's a violation. Ask people permission to hug them, right? And for people who are letting it happen, like, it's okay to say, nope, I am not a hugger. And there's people in my life that I know for sure aren't huggers, no matter how long we've known each other or whatever. Like, some people like hug And there's different types of hug, but we ain't gonna get into all that, right? But there's people in my life that may even again to this day, people really close to me, I don't even hug certain hug them, or we hug like briefly type little pat hug, because I know they may be uncomfortable with hugs and they just want to go through that. I don't even put people in those uncomfortable situations, because like, why? I wouldn't want anybody to put me in an uncomfortable situation. I mean, it's not going to be many uncomfortable situations for me personally, because I kind of have a really great grasp on this boundary stuff, and I just let it be known. No matter who you are in my life, that's how I am. This is why people come to me for boundaries, the coaching, right? Because I'm an expert in the field. I am, from the experience, ways I've helped others. Like, it is what it is. So it's a reason for that, right? If I didn't know what I was talking about, I don't think many people would listen, right? We wouldn't be a global podcast right now, because I wouldn't have anything to talk about on the topics, because what? But I know it's important. And again, I just want to just really, really, really say thank you to each of you who've really be listening to the podcast, who like, man, there's some of you that the minute it's released, within minutes of its release, and within definitely within an hour of its release, like y'all be on it listening. Like, shout out to each and every one of you. I appreciate the love, for real. Again, a little sidebar there. But yeah, it popped in my mind, dropped in my spirit, and I just wanted to let that out. But again, we talking about those types of boundaries. I'm gonna leave it right there, because this episode is going to be a little bit longer than I would like and I plan. So again, what are those types of boundaries that we discussing today? That time and energy, that emotional energy, right? That physical boundaries, like all of these things. What I want you to do in all of these areas is evaluate that. Evaluate that in your life today. Like, don't be out here violating people's boundaries, and don't be out here continuing to be violated, letting your boundaries be violated. Look, enough is enough. And I want you all to truly take some time to not just think about it, but write some of these things down. I guarantee you see it differently. I don't know, it's something magical about just getting it out of your mind and putting it where you can actually see it. Again, my preferred way is to write it down digitally, like, so I'm typing it out, or I'm taking the notes in my phone or on my iPad or whatever, right? But look, write it down, get these things to evaluate. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. I'm definitely going to do a part 2 of this. It may not be next week though, but I will do a part 2, because it's just so much I can go into. Or I might just save it for the people who really want to come into the coaching program and we really, really dive deep. We can do topics here, give you some practical tips, but the real work happens inside the program for sure. I just want to throw that out there. But look, I want you all to really, really, really take this stuff in. And while you're doing that, please be sure to have an amazingly blessed day. Follow us on Instagram at Boundaries and More Podcasts, and be back here next week for more Boundaries and More with Jas Abraham. Talk to y'all soon.